Greetings from Cybertron. This is SoundJack, here with another episode of SoundJack's Rambles. And today I am here with Alyssa.
Hello.
And today we are talking Voltron, Legendary Defender, Season 7, the penultimate season.
Oh man, we're finally getting there. It's finally happening.
We're almost at the home stretch. And the last season's going to be a full 13 episode season, just like this season was. Woo!
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we need to talk about what Voltron is. We've talked about Voltron Legendary Defender, I should say, because we've talked about every other season on this podcast before. Honestly, maybe I should just make a playlist just for the Voltron podcast talks. But anyway, you should go check out the Voltron podcasts, the other Voltron Legendary Defender podcasts, if you haven't seen them. So you know what we're talking about, unless you've already seen the show, in which case you can just stay and watch this one if you want to. We are talking spoilers, but it's been at least 2 months since Season 7 came out, so we've given you some time to watch it. Is there anything else we should go over before we get started?
Not really. I don't really think so. I think we should just get into it.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't somehow forgetting something important that I didn't mention, that it was worth mentioning. But yeah, that's what I thought. Let's just jump right into it. So, like I said before, this season is a 13 episode season, so we got a lot more to talk about than other seasons.
Yes.
And the whole thing going on with this is after the battle with Lotor. At the end of the previous season, they are now on their way back to Earth.
Yeah.
And
it's pretty much that. Yeah,
but the very basic gist of the season.
Yes.
So where do you want to start talking?
Well, we could just jump into the things you really like and we want to talk about. I don't really know if we want to go episode by episode because it's 13 episodes, and
yeah,
I feel like that could get real squirrely real fast.
Yes, it can.
So I think we should just start off with mentioning things that we liked.
Yeah.
And then work from there.
Cool. Okay, first thing I want to say. The season opens on a shrinking episode.
It does.
Out of all the things, I did not expect a shrinking episode in Voltron.
I mean, they're in space. It happens.
I mean, I was just like, okay. And also, I just want to say, they explain how they were able to get bigger, but they never explain how they got small in the first place.
Well, wasn't it the animal that he shrunk them down?
Yeah, I mean, yes, but how? How did that work?
Oh,
they're good with scientific, pseudo-science fiction gobbledygook, and they never say it. It's just this chemical just sprays a compound that makes other things smaller.
Yep.
So I'm well, I mean, I know, granted, that was a different creature. I was going to say it was the creature that searches out for the stuff that made them bigger, but it wasn't. So.
Yeah.
I was just this is just a fun time. This is also the episode where we really get an idea that I feel like we get a better idea of Ramel outside of her experiences on the Altean colony.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, is she taken aback by Team Voltron's day-to-day life.
She is. I mean, that makes sense. She's been living on a planet pretty much isolated for her whole life, so hasn't really seen too much craziness in all that time.
Though, granted, to be fair, I think she speaks for any average Joe from Earth that would have gotten wound up in the adventures at that point.
Oh yeah, I agree too.
Because her big thing at the start was like, okay, you just fought Lotor, saved the entire universe, entire multiverse even. Your leader mind was just transplanted into a clone body, and he's dying, and now you're just like, okay, yeah, we're gonna go find this super energy source, and they were like, yeah, this is how we roll.
Yeah.
With though Hunk always say like, you are just saying what I'm thinking like all the time, which is great. There's a lot good with Hunk this season, and I'm glad.
Yeah, Hunk actually got like things to say and stakes and stuff, because Hunk has always been pretty neglected for pretty much all of Voltron.
Yes.
So it is really nice to see him like actually being able to have some action, have some bad things happen to him that aren't for comedic effect and stuff like that.
Yes. Very true. Yeah. Oh, also, big thing with this season.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a 3-year time slip.
Yes.
Not time skip, because we're still following the characters as they are experiencing the universe, but somehow in their battles with Lotor, they just ended up 3 years in the future.
Yep.
Because holy boy, you're gonna mess with time if you're screwing around with space too. So.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
It also allows them to have, it also allows them to have the Galra realistically invade Earth, and
with Earth having the chance to actually make advanced technologies.
Yes. So for plot reasons, it makes sense.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. I don't know how else they would have done that if they're like, oh yeah, we're just here, and it's just going to take us a while to get to Earth. Just a few months with just straight up how it worked like that, with no time skip. That was a weird sentence. I apologize.
You're all good.
Yeah. You should take a turn. I've been talking a bit right now.
Yeah. Let me see. So the first thing I want to talk about actually is that friggin' filler episode, the Family Feud. What was it? Snaggle Rabble.
Garfle Warfle Snick.
Yeah, there we go. It's the Family Feud parody. That was really weird. Okay. So when it comes to filler episodes, I feel like Voltron is very hit and miss. Like, some episodes are hilarious, like the space. Well, I mean, even the Space Mall episode wasn't really that much of a filler episode because they were still doing stuff for the plot.
Yeah.
But that's kind of a filler episode. The Space Mall one, and I think the Monsters in Mana filler episode, those two are probably the best ones.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say Voltron show and this one were one of the weaker ones.
Yeah,
I still enjoyed the Family Feud parody, but I don't know. I feel like it was maybe a little too out there.
Mm-hmm.
I guess. And it was really hard to like scan, what was actually happening. I mean, it was pretty clear it wasn't actually like it wasn't happening in reality.
Mm-hmm.
Theoretically, like it was happening, like they were like, I thought maybe they were like asleep and it was a dream, or some sort of mental thing. Like it's pretty obvious that they weren't actually physically in a place, especially considering how the television, like how the show, how like there was that whole like TV skipping thing that would happen occasionally. So it sort of led you to believe that there was
something amiss.
Yeah. And, so they made some funny jokes, but it was kind of out there. Poor Lance, though, I feel bad.
The dummy.
Lance isn't that dumb. He's just not book smart, that's all.
Yeah. He could milk a cow. Can any of the others milk a cow?
Nope.
No, I don't think so. If there was a test of who could milk a cow the best.
Oh, yeah. Lance would get that no contest.
Yeah. No. like for the most part, I followed like what was going on after Koran was like, "Oh, you met Bob, the interdimensional traveler that judges the worthiness of great heroes." And I'm like, okay, so he's a Q with a purpose.
Yes.
If you know that, if you get the audience, if you know that from Star Trek. But the one thing that really threw me off was when Pidge openly attacked Bob, and like they reset.
Yes.
That's the main thing.
I think I think the thing to keep in mind is that it's not within reality. So I think the reason why I was able to reset is because it wasn't actually physically happening. It was a mental illusion.
But admittedly, me using reset is a bad word if the audience listening is not aware of this episode or hasn't seen this.
Mm-hmm.
When I say reset, what happens is Pidge is trying to shoot a hole in one in a mini golf course. Pidge whacks the golf ball into a camera. Bob goes to investigate. Pidge grapples Bob to the ground with a golf club, with also Lance's life on the line, being slowly developed, about ready to be dissolved by acidic liquids.
Mm-hmm.
And then it resets so that they're all standing like they've won the event, but there's no acknowledgement of what just happened from Bob.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the part I'm just like, wait, what? Like, I understand this is not like normal reality, but like, if Bob has control of the world, I'm surprised there was no reference to it from him. Like, oh no, you shouldn't have tried that or something.
I mean, I think the idea is that, like, since he's performing for a crowd, it would probably be less, it's sort of like if you don't acknowledge it, no one will think any bad of it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I didn't find that as confusing. I thought it made sense. I mean, if we're working in a reality where this guy has all the power, then like it totally makes sense that he wouldn't acknowledge. He also seems to be pretty full of himself. So like,
yeah,
it totally seemed in character for him to be like, "Oh, I'm just not going to acknowledge it because I don't acknowledge my failures or whatever."
Mm-hmm. It's still weird for like an episodic thing for like its overall story, but in this case, I don't know.
I mean, that's fine. If you thought it was weird, that's okay.
Yeah.
I didn't find it weird. Is my point.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Cool. Okay. We should move on and talk about other things. Like, we actually have a name for the cosmic wolf.
Yes, it's Cosmo.
It's Cosmo. It's
which
great.
I mean, on one hand, I'm kind of glad that they didn't go for like a weird alien name, but on the other hand, I'm kind of upset we didn't get a cooler name. But Cosmo's fine.
Yeah.
I like dogs.
Yep.
Any furry four-legged animals are my pals, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm here for Cosmo. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
He's perfect. I'd die for him.
Yeah, but speaking of that, I do want to talk
Mm-hmm.
about the main episode that focused on Cosmo, and I think that was the episode he got his name in.
Okay.
The Ruins.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is the episode we learn about the time skip.
Yep.
As well as showing that the Blades of Memora have been decimated, basically.
Yeah.
No one knows where the heck Hagar went to, and all of her druids are just out, just doing like the final purge or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then also and I just want to bring up the fact that was an amazing fight between Keith with Cosmo and the druid.
Yeah, I feel like the fact that Cosmo was there kind of evened the playing field by a lot.
Yes.
Because if he wasn't there, I feel like Keith would have gotten owned.
Yeah.
As good of a fighter as Keith is.
It was amazing. That was an amazingly well choreographed fight between two teleporters.
Yeah.
And then also how everyone got stuck in like a slow down field, and then Allure's just like, nope, I'm going to absorb that, and just punch the ground and blast it open because I absorbed all that energy.
Yep.
That was cool. That was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a good time. It was a good, solid time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your turn. Your turn to say something good.
Okay. So I thought what was I saying? Oh, so this is skipping ahead a little bit, but I'm just going off with what I'm thinking of good. I really liked the Admiral Sanda.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't say I liked her as a person, but I feel like as a character, I feel like they did a good job.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like she's I was really upset at first because I was like, oh man, she's gonna be like the stick in the mud admiral that everyone hates, and I've seen this before, and I'm like, she's probably gonna betray Earth at some point, and then she did, and I was like, oh, who called it? But then I was really happy that they didn't have her just be like the worst. Like at the end, really you could tell that she does value Earth. I mean, she's not like being a stick in the mud just to be a stick in the mud. She's probably stressed, and she has a lot of stuff on her plate, and I can understand how frustrating it can be to have people completely disrespect your command in a stressful situation.
Mm-hmm.
And then doing what you think is the best thing, because from her perspective, selling out Voltron was, in her opinion, the best thing, because she was thinking they only want Voltron. If I hand them over, then Earth will be free. And while from our perspective it's like, why the hell would you do that? SoundJack is not trustworthy and he will backstab you. She doesn't have that kind of foresight. And of course, I mean, obviously, I would also say that as an admiral, she should probably have at least gone with the knowledge that maybe some underhanded things would happen, and that she should have collateral in case something happened. But I mean, humans are fallible. They can be desperate, and she was desperate, and that's what they did.
Yeah.
But I'm really glad that they sort of made her be like, "Oh my God, what did I just do? That was horrible. I can't believe it." And then she did do the best thing that she could to try and make things right. Yeah. So I'm happy that my point is that I'm happy they didn't just make her a bad guy.
Yeah.
It was one note and just I'm in it for the power.
Yeah.
She just made a mistake, and she tried to make up for it. So I'm happy about that.
Mm-hmm. Though you bring up something that I want to point out, because you brought up she's an admiral, she should have experience enough to know that she should have the backup plan or something.
Yeah.
We have absolutely no idea how what's gone on in the timeline, and at least the 100 years or something in the Voltron universe. Because they established in this season there was a World War III.
There was a World War III, yeah.
And we're like, wait, hold on. Well, at least I was. It's like, I assume this was just Earth at the current time, except just a bit more technologically advanced, that they could space travel to the edge of the solar system.
No, I guess they put it in far future.
Yeah.
Or at least far enough future.
Yeah. That a World War III could happen and the planet is not dead.
Yeah.
Because, I want to know that backstory now. I need to know that backstory now is more like it, honestly. It's like, I just assumed, but I assumed incorrectly, and I need to know the truth. Need to know the truth, creators of Voltron Legendary Defender. Do you hear me?
I mean, to be honest, I feel like they probably don't have exactly what happened in World War III. It's probably just a major war happened within the amount of time.
Oh no, I mean that's completely fine.
Now and then, now and in the future, which makes sense.
Oh, I meant more so how long has it been? How far in the future are we? When did World War III happen? General abouts.
Okay.
Any other suitably notable things, like, say, first mission to Mars or whatever.
Gotcha.
In their universe. Establishment of the garrison, those kinds of, like, lore bits.
Gotcha.
Not necessarily like, okay, it was the United States and what a such and against whoever's, and this was the reason why, and these are all the battles that happened. No, I don't need that.
Right.
Well, maybe like who. Maybe. Or at least the two big who's. Anyway, off topic.
Yeah.
But speaking, let's move into this discussion now. And Alyssa,
Sure.
I think, knows what I mean by this.
Probably. Wait, are we done with good things though?
We're not necessarily done with good things, but I feel like this is good enough connection.
Okay.
Yeah. Because this does relate to backstory, lore.
Yeah.
And this is the only thing I really heard about this season of Voltron before watching the show. By the way, we only watched it like the weekend before this episode goes out, or was supposed to go out. I don't know when this is getting out, but this is probably.
Yeah.
But we're recording the day it should have gone out because we needed to watch the season still.
Yeah.
But anyway,
schedules, it happens.
Yeah, but anyway, you should be aware of what we're probably talking about if you watch the show before us, and that is Shiro's backstory.
Mm-hmm.
And while there's definitely
the first friggin' inkling of his backstory, like this, I'm pretty sure we didn't know anything about him.
Well, besides that, he was a super special pilot that got to go on this first mission to Phoebus. So,
oh well, yeah, that.
But like beyond that,
yeah,
not particularly much. No, which I mean, it's fine because like we were dealing with the clone for 4 seasons.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. But anywho, beyond the thing that he had a disease that wasn't going to kill him, but was going to basically put him out from being able to do anything in a couple of years.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Holy crap. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Which was like...
I like it completely... Okay. Can we just quick diversion. Quick tangent. I promise it'll be quick. I swear.
Go ahead.
They never clarify what that disease was and how long he had.
Yeah.
Like, does he still have it?
Well, presumably not, because his original body's dead.
I guess that's fair, yeah. But they never clarified what it was.
Yeah, no.
No, but they just mentioned it, and I was like, okay. And then I guess he's sick. All right, cool. We're just not going to address that.
No.
It's not going to play into anything, I guess.
No.
All right.
Except for the other thing.
Yeah.
Which is we find out Shiro is gay.
Yes, Yes, we do.
Yeah. We do.
Yes.
We do. Here's how we figure it out. So Shiro had a talk with the admiral or the colonel or whatever high-ranking person that was assigning the mission. That didn't want him to go because of his disease. Though Pidge's father was like, he's coming with me. So he goes back and talks with this guy, Adam. I forget what his last name is, but my mind tells me it's Wes, and that would be really weird because...
Secretly Batman, casually.
Anyway, Adam. Adam is his first name. And he's sitting there, and he's like, I don't want you to go on this mission, and says, if you go on this mission, I'm not going to be here when you get back. And then once Shiro gets back to Earth and like meets up with the base, he finds out Adam is dead and has a very quick moment to mourn him, and that's all.
Yep.
But
that's it.
But the entire context is that they were dating. And that's
pretty much
all we get.
Okay, so okay, why don't I let you say your piece, because I feel like I'll probably be ranting for like 5 million years.
No, go ahead. I mean, I feel like you're gonna be able to articulate your point better than I am.
Okay.
So I will let you go ahead.
All right. Let me just stretch a bit.
Yeah.
get my rant juices ready.
Okay. Current time is about 25. Current time is about 25:30. Let's see how long this goes.
Okay. You're timing me?
Not specifically, but generally.
All right.
I'm just curious. I'm not saying there's a limit. I'm just curious how long this goes.
All right. So first thing to acknowledge, I was not aware of Shiro and Adam's relationship prior to watching this season. Like, I had no idea. I knew some people were angry about season 7 because of a character death, so I was like, okay, someone dies and people aren't happy about it. I was like, is it one of the main crew? That's gonna suck. Turns out it wasn't. And the death they're angry about is Adam. Now, I did not know. So my only references for their relationship was what was on screen, right?
Yeah.
I had no idea. And I'll be honest, I was not able to officially confirm to myself that Shiro and Adam were dating until after the fact. Like, after I looked it up. Like, while I was watching it, it was a lot of nebulousness.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because here's the thing. First of all, this is Adam's. We don't know much about Shiro to begin with, so there's no precedence for his sexuality prior to this moment. We don't have any moments of him I don't know, thinking oh man, this guy's hot or whatever. He doesn't mention any people he's seeing at any point. So there's no precedence for me to be thinking about the fact that he's dating anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Aside from the fact that he's in his 20s, that he's older. And that's pretty much it. Second thing, so when Adam shows up, the only thing that really would tip you off or make you consider that they're dating is two things. One, Adam refers to Shiro by his first name, and I believe he's the only character to have done that in the whole series.
True.
I think, which automatically puts their relationship as something very different, because all of his comrades in the garrison refer to him as Shiro. All of the paladins of Voltron refer to him as Shiro. Even Keith, who has a very strong relationship with Shiro, refers to Shiro as Shiro and not Takashi.
Yeah.
But this guy refers to him as Takashi. So I'm like, okay, so they definitely aren't just coworkers.
Yeah.
But at the same time, so. But the problem is that the fact that Adam refers to him as Takashi isn't really enough information to make the leap from coworker to dating.
Yeah.
Because even though all of his other coworkers and people we've seen Shiro interact with refer to him as Shiro, we've never seen Shiro interact with anyone he would consider a peer. You know what I mean? Yes, the paladins of Voltron are his peers, but they also see him as senior. He has seniority to them.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So automatically there's a different kind of relationship that they have. Same thing with Keith. Keith sees him as an older brother figure. So that's not the same kind of relationship as a friend. So just from that name, base level, they're really close friends.
Yeah.
And then greatest, they're dating. But again, that it really is, or they could be family.
Yeah.
I mean, we know Shiro's Japanese, but that doesn't necessarily mean he doesn't have cousins or, people he's related to that aren't Japanese, and maybe he's not totally Japanese and he's a mix, So my point is that there isn't a lot on screen to indicate that they're dating. And the only other thing is one of the lines that Adam says, where he says how much, like, he says, like, something along those lines, don't you care about me, or how much do you care about me, or something along those lines.
Yeah.
I forget exactly the wording. That's kind of something someone would say if they're dating. You know, I imagine that would be something a couple would say to each other. But again, I could also see, like, a family member saying that, you know?
Yeah.
So, again, really vague. It's super vague. Like, and the other thing, too, is that Voltron, up until this point, has not established, like, gay characters or queer characters in any other, you know, light. Yeah. Like, we haven't seen any other characters that are like this up until this point, so there hasn't been a precedence for it. Also, like, this is one brief interaction. Like, I don't know, you could have Adam flirt with Shiro. That would be a way more, that would be, like, you could do that. My point is that, to keep on track, is that from just the context of what's going on in the show, there really isn't anything to indicate that Shiro and Adam have a couple relationship or a dating. Mm-hmm. The relationship's super vague, and there's nothing to completely solidify that. So that's problem number one, is that it's not clear. Problem number two is that Adam's death unfortunately plays into the awful trope of bury your gays, which is a really unfortunate trope. Basically, for those of you who don't know, it's a trope where confirmed gay characters, whether explicitly or implicitly gay, are killed or killed somehow, and the killing is sort of implied to be like a punishment for them being gay. And that's very much, and there are some books that actually are pretty explicit about that. Like, I think some of Orson Scott Card's novels have characters who are gay who die, and their death as punishment. Death as punishment is in it. Like, I'm pretty sure either subtextual or textual reason why they died. So, as you can see, that trope's really harmful because, like, again, even if now, obviously, I don't think that the Voltron crew, the people writing this, were intending for that kind of connotation. Like, I want to believe they weren't, but again, it's these things don't happen in a vacuum, and that could still have happened. Yeah. Like, that still plays into the trope. And now, thing to note, a gay character dying in just on its own, removed from any sort of anything, isn't necessarily a bad thing. And if there are, like, a lot of gay characters or, like, multiple gay characters, then it can be pretty permissible if a gay character dies, because then their death isn't, like, because they're gay, you know?
It's
like,
just because
in the IDW comics, like,
yes,
you know, most of the characters in that universe are in same-sex relationships. But when a character dies, you're not like, oh man, James Roberts must have it out for the LGBTQ community. You know, you're like, oh, they die because war sucks, you know?
Though I do remember that one question from his panel at TFCon in 2017.
Oh, yeah.
What was it? Why must the gay suffer?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah. But you're right in that instance, like, everyone's gay, pretty much.
Yeah.
So
therefore having a character die in that scenario doesn't play into the trope, because correct. It's not. There are gay characters who are alive and do have relationships, so it's a different scenario. Unfortunately, Voltron does not have the luxury, so killing Adam is a pretty big no-no. And I'm pretty sure that's the biggest reason why people have been really upset with this season, is because of Adam's death, and I honestly cannot blame them for that. Also, okay, other thing. So my third thing is that, to me, from a narrative perspective and, like, emotional stakes, it makes way more sense for them to be explicit about their relationship than it is not. Because think about it. You have Shiro like, including the death, if we just assume the death still happens, we have Shiro, who's in a relationship with someone, who knows how long. I mean, they didn't say how long their relationship was, but let's assume a couple of years. They stop on, they're not on good terms, and, like, presumably it's someone that Shiro really loves.
Mm-hmm.
And then he comes back to Earth after being gone for so long, only to find him dead. Like, that's so more emotionally invested. And then like, have a scene where Shiro cries or something, or has, like, breaks down, because, like, I mean, if you lost someone you cared about that much, that would definitely be a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that, like, Shiro doesn't really, like, do anything, just kind of is like, oh man, like, I'm pretty sure that he just is like, oh no, and then nothing else. He doesn't cry.
I'm pretty sure it was just like his hand on the wall next to the picture where Adam's memorial bit was, on that wall of heroes or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just like, Adam.
Yeah.
Until we get a light implication during the finale when Shiro talks about, like, losing people when we zoom up on the picture, but
yep, we don't ever. I mean, come on, it's so stupid. Like, if Katie or Pidge, I guess, if Pidge was able to openly weep at the thought of his brother dying, her brother dying. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, Pidge.
How dare
I'm, like,
you?
off the ball. If Pidge, like, is allowed to weep openly at the prospect of her family dying, I feel like Shiro should be able to sob openly at the actual death of his.
Yeah.
Of pretty much the only connection to Earth he has that we know of.
Yes.
So, man. Also, okay, some other things. 1 through 4, on top of the fact that the death plays into the barrier gaze trope, we also don't get any scenes of him and Adam actually having a good time as in their relationship. They're just kind of upset with each other.
Yeah.
That's the first scene we see of them together. Adam's not supportive. They're not, like, we don't get a scene of them being, like, in a healthy relationship, which is also not great. Like, I'm not saying that, like, every relationship that's same sex has to be healthy, but I'm also saying that like, I think the fact that it's the only same-sex relationship there is in the show and it's not healthy is not a good thing. Mm-hmm. Or at least is on the rocks. And then two, or the other minor-ish thing, is that now that Shiro's the canonical gay character, it becomes way worse when you think about how Shiro is pretty much the character that has been through the most hardship in the whole amongst the Voltron crew. Like, he was captured, tortured, used as a war machine device.
I didn't even think of that.
There's been scenes of him literally screaming in pain as lightning inflicts his body. He's been on his deathbed forever. He's been the character that everyone has thought would die. Everything gets so much worse.
Okay, I need to say a thing, because when we were watching this, we were doing it through Rabbit, so we were just chatting each other. And you mentioned something about, boy, does Shiro suffer a lot in this show or something. I'm like,
he does.
And I was just like, well, he was the character designed to die in the original Voltron, because that's what his character did. He was Shiro's original character is Ven, I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was the leader and then died like a handful of episodes in, so Keith could become the leader.
Right.
Or, yeah. So,
Yeah, there's just so many, like, awful implications that happen.
But yeah, I didn't even think about all of that with that context.
I feel like the Voltron crew really wanted to have representation, but they didn't think it through. Like, it was like a good idea on paper, but just not good in concept.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, if I were to have chosen a character to have been, like, LGBT, I would have picked Pidge.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, one, she's not performatively feminine. I mean, not that that means anything in terms of your sexuality, but,
Yeah.
And also, like, she's the only character in the show who doesn't have any explicit like romantic subplot going on.
Yeah, because Hunk had the girl from the rock planet.
Yeah.
Lance and Allura.
Yes.
They something's going on now. I thought it was just a one-sided thing from Lance, but now, oh boy. And Keith has also had similar feelings towards Allura, it feels like.
Yeah, so pretty much all of them have had romantic inclinations except for Pidge. So I feel like that's like a good opportunity for them to like have her have her do any, like maybe she's like on the A spectrum and isn't really interested in that sort of thing. Or, you know, you could do a lot with that. So
you could.
Yeah, I would have chosen Pidge if only because it just avoids all those awful implications when you make it Shiro.
Yes.
like not that Pidge hasn't suffered, but she's not the like one who suffers the most.
Yeah.
And she's definitely has a supporting family and all that good stuff. So it probably would have made more sense. Yeah. If I was writing Voltron, that's what I would have done.
Yeah.
And then maybe also have Shiro be gay on top of that, so that if Adam dies, it's not a problem.
Not as much of a problem, yeah.
Not as much of a problem, yeah. I mean, it's still a problem, but like it's not as bad.
Yeah, but but it's all sucks because this would be fine. Now, hear me out before and let me finish because I feel like the start of the sentence could sound not great.
Okay.
This setup would be fine if it was Shiro dating a woman. And the biggest problem with this is that there's just a poor amount of good representation for the LGBTQ community.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Like there's nothing inherently like in an isolation about what's on screen.
Yeah.
Like again, if you replace Adam with a woman, no one would be complaining.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I'd be complaining about it being a poor story beat because again, Shiro doesn't have any sort of emotional reaction to their death.
Yeah,
which is still a problem.
It's an incredibly poor story beat in general, but just fact.
Yes, it is. Like if you're gonna have Shiro have an important person in his life, like have them be an important person in their life.
Okay, let's also
go all the way with it.
Let me also say that not just the fact that that's an important story beat for Shiro that's basically glazed over. It also ends up that Adam is the one that makes the technology that ends up getting used in Shiro's new prosthetic arm.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I didn't realize that was the case.
Yeah, like briefly, like Allura was looking at it, and it was like Adam was working on this before he died. So then, like, Adam literally becomes a part of him, but all of it is so glazed over that there's no strong emotional impact by that for the audience.
Yeah, Jesus, like imagine how amazing this story beat would have been and how much of an awesome thing this would be if we had gotten flashbacks about this like earlier in the series and like we built up this idea of you know Adam being an important part of him and like how much he misses him and everything and you know maybe we see some moments of them together building a rapport and all that stuff and then this happens, like that would have been such a better emotional payoff both narratively and for the character.
Yes.
So
because literally they're now a part of each other. Well, Adam's more so Adam's a part of Shiro.
I can't enjoy it. I can't be like this is great. I have to be like this just makes it worse because it could have worked if it was better thought out and there was more time devoted to it.
Yes.
But because it was rushed, we have this to worry about.
Yes.
Okay, like I think I'm done with that rant.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
How long did I go?
What did I say? 25 minutes?
Yeah.
We're at 44.
Oh, well. This is what happens when I rant.
Well, hey, this was needed. This is.
It was needed. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So, do we want to go back to positives now, or
let's just keep talking.
Okay.
Okay. Let's talk about the other big thing that happens with Shiro.
Yes.
And that's he gets his own new mecha.
Pretty much, yeah.
And okay, maybe we should backtrack a bit and like talk about like what goes on in that finale two-parter.
Yes, you should.
Yeah. Because holy crap, so much happens.
Yeah.
So much happens.
Oh, so much happens. I almost feel like that two-parter finale was like so fast. Yeah. Like,
well, technically,
acts.
Well, technically, I guess it would be the last 4 episodes, because episode 10 is their start on attacking on the bases that we end up learning are building the Zyforge cannons designed to destroy the Earth.
Yes.
Which there are 6 of. And then it leads to them being out-predicted and Voltron getting blasted apart by those same Zyforge cannons that managed to launch, all because of the Admiral Sonda, and her betrayal. At which point they, the people on the base are like, okay, what are we doing now? And they're like, we gotta abandon the base and try to get our stupidly large ship flying.
Yeah.
And they're like, how do we do this? And Corinne's like, oh, hey, I remember. I got an infinite mass thingy in my pocket that's not making a singularity.
Yep.
They get that flying. Voltron is rescued. And then we get into the final two-parter, of which, holy crap, and the ship is called the Atlas, and Shiro's in command and the captain now. And he's just like, okay, we got to get to Sendak because the ships have launched, so we can't destroy them. So the ships have launched, and it's going to be so hard to destroy them. I don't think we're going to get to destroy all of them before they blow up the Earth. So we got to get to Sendak, but you can't get to Sendak. And then Voltron's like, okay, we're going to get the reflector beams and block the 6 cannons from firing. There's 6 cannons, but 5 fly-ins. But the one beam's just going off. They were going to like all sync up and blast the Earth together to destroy it or something. That fails, and then Atlas is just like, okay, we're just going to take this entire planet-destroying blast with our energy shields and hope that they can fix it.
Yep.
There's just so much going on, and then they actually win and destroy the cannons, and then Sendak's ship is going down, and he's just victory or death, and so melodramatic.
Yep.
And Shiro somehow got onto Sendak's ship to take it down.
Yep.
Oh my god. Oh, and then Keith just ganks Sendak.
Sendak dies pretty quick considering how big of an enemy he's been.
Yeah.
It's just like a slash with Shiro's sword, and then, well, now he's dead.
Downstrike, dead.
Yep.
But like, boy, and then that's just the one part. That was all in the one part. I thought the second part, like, oh, this is going to be a condensed, a chill episode, of just like a taking stock episode. And at the end of the Lions Pride Part 1, there's a giant freaking meteor that's crashing into Earth.
Yep.
And we're just sitting here like, what the heck is that thing?
Yep, it just comes right the hell out of nowhere.
And it just beats the crap out of Voltron so hard. So hard. And then we get to the point where we're talking about Shiro getting his mecha, because apparently that putting the remains of the Castle of Lions as the core of the ship unlocks special abilities, including it to turn into a mecha. Like a stupidly large mecha.
Damn.
And that was just so cool. I honestly like. Those 2 episodes were just so high intensity and high combat, but all of that was I feel like was well paced, well choreographed, and I think both of us were just like, this is absurd at levels of anime crap. right here. But it was fun. What I've just been rambling about what's been going on. You say stuff about it, Alyssa.
I mean, basically, we got big death mecha comes and absolutely slaughters until huge, bigger than a planet, not bigger planet, larger than life mecha comes and then beats the piss out of. Well, no, it doesn't beat the piss out of that mecha, because then
the mecha runs from it. It's just
evil mecha was able to size itself.
Oh yeah, it was doing
projection and fight Atlas, but then Voltron is able to get up and pierce it in its mortal weakness, destroying it.
Attack the weak point for massive damage.
Exactly.
Which is massive.
Yeah, but basically it's just a huge ass mecha fight.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much all you need to know.
Oh, and then the thing's about to explode and take half the Earth with it.
The evil mecha is like absurdly powerful.
Yeah. Oh, and then its final act is to have a self-destruct countdown that would take half the Earth with it if Team Voltron did get it up into orbit in time.
Yep.
And then we have the final thing we get revealed at the end of the episode. That thing was powered by an Altean.
Which is why it was so absurdly powerful to the point of, I don't even know.
Yeah. Like, she wasn't controlling it. That Altean was its battery.
Yep.
And I'm just like, Hagar. This is Hagar's all over it.
Yep. Yeah, I had a suspicion that this was Hagar's doing.
Though admittedly, I had first thought this was Lotor back from the grave, just modified and morphed by the energies of the quintessence.
Yeah,
at first.
But I think it's more likely it's Hagar.
Yeah, especially with there was mentions of Hagar's Komar device draining there, similar to draining Voltron's energy, just like how that did.
Yeah.
So definitely Hagar. Also, there was a trailer at San Diego Comic-Con, and it's just like Hagar's in the background evilly laughing, so it's got to be Hagar.
Yeah.
It's got to be. But, oh my god. The next season's going to be so stupid.
It is going to be so stupid.
With that,
I'm not entirely sure how they're going to defeat multiple of those kinds of powerful... Like, now that they've established that kind of power...
Yeah.
Like, how are they going to beat it? What sort of universe-breaking powers is Voltron going to get in order to take that down?
Yeah, that's...
I don't know.
It's just going to wear the Atlas as a giant suit of armor. Or something. I don't know. It's going to combine. It's going to ultra combine or something.
Yep.
Yeah. That was... Those last few episodes were just... so much. That was a very bad day.
Yeah, that was the worst day.
That was the worst day for Earth.
Yes. Now I have to ask you. This is more a question for you, Michael.
Yes.
Which mecha do you like the most, Atlas or the evil mecha?
Atlas.
I figured you would say that.
It's just so stupidly huge. It's wonderful. Also, it doesn't walk. It's got its turbines are on its back and its feet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, that's cool, because that would be so hard to walk. Also, they have the entirety of a base inside that thing, just stumbling, just hanging on for dear life as there's a giant robot fight happening outside, and it is one of the participants. We have to acknowledge that while it's getting slammed down by giant shadow projections of that evil mecha.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, the other one is also cool. Is the evil one is cool as well, but especially with like its darker colors, its black hole beam core, and its scythes.
Mm-hmm.
It's admittedly fairly emo.
It is pretty emo. That's accurate.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, that was pretty stupid. Okay. So, do we have any other good things you want to talk about? Positives?
We never talked about Hunk's things.
Oh, right. Hunk, we finally get to see Hunk's family and a bit of his family's backstory, which is great.
Yeah.
We get to see him be really, like, passionate about trying to save his family, which is also great.
Yep. A nice bonding moment between him and Keith.
Yeah.
Which is good. And I really liked what Keith said to him.
Yeah, me too.
That was great. That was really good. That it was nice to see something out of Hunk for character development.
Yeah, I'm also really glad that he was the one who sort of kept the team together during their rift in space.
Yeah, they were. Yes.
When everyone started losing their minds, he was like, "Wait a minute, guys," which was great. Like, typically Hunk kind of gets the short end of the stick in those situations, but he was the one who sort of pulled everyone through, which I was really happy about it.
Yes. That was really great to see.
Yeah.
Any other things particular you have to say positive?
I'm trying to think. I mean, I feel like I've said most of the things that I was like I really thought were positive and really stuck out to me.
Mm-hmm.
Aside from that, I don't really think. I mean, I if I didn't say anything about it, I probably just thought it was good. And, I mean, you know.
Yeah, that's where I am pretty much too. Like, there's a lot I enjoyed from the season, but those were the things I enjoyed the most.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we talked about the one big thing. Is there anything else you didn't like?
So the one thing I will say that I'm really not feeling, it's Aksha and Keith's relationship.
Oh, right, because with the time skip, the Lotor's generals that survive have there's been a change in how they work with Aksha just becomes like a rebel against them. It was Ezor and Zethrid, and they've just become pirates and having stolen a Galra cruiser and whatnot.
Yes. But I'm just really not. I feel like Voltron is the story's trying to have Voltron, Aksha and Keith be a thing, and I'm just like, I'm not feeling it.
Ezor and Zethrid were also nudging that point, yeah.
Yeah, we were both of us when we were watching it while they were like talking, we were both like, I ship it.
Yeah, we ship Ezor and Zethrid
than Aksha and Keith do. I'm just gonna say that right now.
Yeah, Ezor and Zethrid, OTP.
like they just have way more chemistry.
Yeah.
And I'm there for that relationship more than I am for Aksha and Keith.
Oh, but what I was saying was Ezor and Zethrid even made a comment like, "Oh, so you do like him," or something like that.
Yeah, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Ezra and Zethrid had more chemistry than Shiro and Adam. To be honest.
Yes, that's true too. That is very true.
That is where you could have had the gay.
Yeah, you could have. I would have been totally there if they had made the gay couple. Sorry, my phone just went off.
How dare! It's okay.
The gay couple, than the gay couple. I think that would have been way better. I feel like I would have been in total support of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just. I guess the reason why I'm like so not here for Aksha and Keith is just because they've had zero chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the only chemistry they've had has just been, like, Aksha not shooting Keith.
Yeah.
Which, like, that's not a good... That's, like, nothing.
Yeah.
Like, why does she even like him? We don't know.
Yeah.
Keith doesn't seem to have any... I mean, Keith, like, protected her and defended her, but I think that was just because she's already proven that she's not here to hurt him. Not because he's like, oh, my love, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm just like, if that becomes
honestly,
I'm gonna be like,
if it's anything, it feels if anything, again, it feels like it's a one-sided thing from Aksha.
Yeah, I can see that. If it becomes Endgame, I'm just gonna be like, I mean, unless they do something incredible in season 8 and somehow get me to root for them. But for now,
admittedly, we do not necessarily. We're not at the point to trust the writers with romantic relationships.
No.
You can earn back our trust, but
like, yeah, I'm not feeling it.
Yeah.
And Shiro and I mean, I'm sorry. Lance and Allura are a little bit better. A little bit better.
Like, there's at least. Yeah, sorry. You
seems
go.
more like a thing, but I'm still not there with their relationship. I feel like Lance has come a long way, but I still feel like he is a little bit of a womanizer still, and that just sets me off a little bit. And it's like, oh.
Yeah. Like, at least there is experience and story we've seen behind them to support it.
Yes. It's not like it's like out of nowhere.
Yeah. But the step up from Allura when it happened felt weird to me. Like, because, like, the season 6 was all Lance being jealous of Lotor and Allura being together. And, like, Allura liking Lance, but, like, as a friend. And then nothing really happened for season 7 until they're getting into the final battle, and Allura's like, Lance, be safe out there.
Yeah.
And then Lance's sister's like, she's pretty cute.
Yep.
Or like, oh, she likes you. She does like you back.
Yeah.
Or something. I'm like, that escalated. Not necessarily escalated really quickly, but that escalated in a rate I did not anticipate.
Yeah, me too. Well, I will say I am still kind of glad that Pidge doesn't have any romantic things lined up.
Please, yes.
Like I want her to just not have a relationship by the end.
Please,
yes. Have her just be working on her science stuff and be happy.
Yes.
Like, the problem with women in media is that so many times they just have a relationship because that's the only thing people know how to do with women in media. So I just want Pidge to just be on her own and just be kicking ass and just doing her thing.
Kicking ass and modifying computers, and she's all out of butts to kick.
Exactly. So I guess my point is that romance is not this show's strong suit.
Yeah.
Like, I think the only romance that the two of us were like, I'm behind this, was the one we just mentioned.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure. Like, all the other ones are like, I mean, even Hunk and the Balmera chick, whose name I completely forget.
Yeah.
I mean, they're maybe have a little more chemistry, but still.
Yeah.
I don't know. We haven't seen them enough together.
If Lance, let's just go with the ship name Allurance. Would that be it? Would that be their ship name?
I guess.
If that's Endgame, I'm not going to be as mad about it if it's Keith Aksha.
Yeah, same here.
If Endgame is Hunk and the Balmeran, I'm here for that.
Yeah, I'm more here for that than I am for Lance and Allura.
Yeah.
Allura, I think.
Yeah.
But like if Lance and Laura happen, I'll just shrug. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. If Keith and Akshay happen, I'll just be like, why?
Yeah.
This feels so forced.
Yeah. Other thing. Not major complaint, but I'm just like, I raised an eyebrow when it happened.
Yeah.
So in the whole Lion's Pride, and they're like, oh, we can't destroy the Cyforge cannon in time, so we gotta block their beam. And then the shields break, and then the ship is, the Atlas is protecting the Earth by itself. And then when the Voltron Lions wake up, they go ahead and attack the Cyforge cannons. And they don't necessarily take them down quickly, and probably if like they were clear about how long it took them to take down the Cyforge cannons, I'd be like, okay, that's fine, that's reasonable. But I was just like, they took them. It feels like they might have been able to take them down in an appropriate amount of time. At least less time it would take them to go to the other side of the planet to grab the reflector shields.
Oh yeah, I totally agree with that. I feel like they should have probably. I don't even know why they bothered with the Cyforge cannons. I mean the reflector shields. I feel like it would have made more sense for them to just focus on trying to destroy them.
Yeah, like, and
then have the ship like come in and save.
Okay, here's the thing. Here's the thing I could have seen.
Yeah.
Since they'd mentioned that 2 Cyforge cannons would be enough to destroy the Earth, since they couldn't take them all out at once, well, no, never mind. I'm making it more complicated, because they could just take out 5 of them individually and then have another beam, and then just have the one by itself. Because I was going to say 4 of them work on taking 4 of the cannons down. And then the fastest one, which is the Red Lion, goes, grabs a reflector shield, puts it in the way of one of the other 2, and then they're not mixing, so Voltron has time to destroy them in enough time or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Overall, with how it was paced, it felt good, but like thinking over like that aspect of it, like how reasonably quickly they were able to take down the Cyforge cannons, especially with how much the Atlas was suffering because of the cannon's blast.
Yeah.
I just raised my eyebrow at it. It worked. Like how, like the events feel fine. Like it's reasonable. It's just the timing that throws it off for me. Mostly. You get what I'm saying? Am I being weird?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I do get what you're saying.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, again, still good, but still. It was like, And anywho.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else? Because that's really the only other thing I had.
Yeah. Trying to think. I guess the other thing that I was thinking about was the whole thing with Shiro being able to unlock the Atlas's true potential.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's a little unfortunate that Allura isn't in his place in that scene. Because in the past, Allura was, before she became part of Team Voltron, she was like the one in command.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it would have been a really cool, powerful moment if she, after having lost the Castle of Lions, was able to recommand this new ship and unlock its true potential through her own will.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, to an extent,
I mean, I know that Shiro's, I know that the fact that Allura's on the team is great, but at the same time, I don't know. I think it would have been really cool if that was the case.
Oh, I see what you're. Yeah, I understand. But how has it happened, especially with what Shiro's been through? I'm fine with this. And also, technically, Allura is part of it because the crystal that was in her tiara or headband or whatever is now in Shiro's arm, powering that.
Yeah.
So maybe that connection allowed that energy allowed the connection to happen to allow Shiro to do the unlock.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. Probably not, but hey. At least it was explained, because there was a moment of like, oh wow, putting that into the past, the remains of the Castle of Lions in infinite space has unlocked powers for the ship that I didn't even know were a thing. And I was like, okay, something be happening. I never expected it's going to transform. Sorry, convert so as we don't ruin the trademark.
Yeah.
But yeah. Is that all we have to say on this season of Voltron? Legendary Defender?
I think so. I'm trying to think of any other things, but I'm not really drawing anything.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I guess overall comments would be the next thing.
Overall, it was a good season. The biggest complaint by far is the writing of the romantic relationships. The family and friend relationships are good, and the writers have also proven that family and friend they can definitely do family and friend relationships. It's the romantic ones that definitely were among the weak points of the season.
Yes.
Which is unfortunate, and we've got one more season to go, so let's see what happens with that in terms of that.
Yeah. Man.
But again, don't get me wrong, I still enjoyed it. I have absolutely no clue how I'd rank this season compared to other seasons, to be fair. Maybe I can make a definitive list after season 8 comes out.
Yeah, maybe.
But I still think it's quite good. Also, it was better because it was a 13-episode thing.
Yeah, I'm so happy that they did that way this time.
Yeah. Also, also in my head, I'm just counting this as season 3.1. Because if we divide the other seasons up, seasons 1 and 2 end up being one season of 26 episodes, and then seasons 3 through 6 end up being 26 episodes.
Yeah.
And then season 7 and season 8 will just be season 3.
Yeah.
That's how I'm looking at it, to be honest.
Yeah, to be fair, like the way that they divide up the seasons are just kind of, I don't really think of it that way. Because the writing doesn't really reflect that. Yeah. The way the series is paced, it doesn't reflect that.
And you know what I just realized? With that kind of a division, at the end of season 2 is when they defeat Zarkon.
Yeah.
Before Lotor kills him.
Yes.
It was the big fight that basically ended Zarkon, and before Lotor came in and became a thing. Season 2, the end of season 2, by my definition, is the end of Lotor, and presumably the end of season 8 will be the end of Hagar.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because they are like the main 3.
Yeah.
With little Sendak being the final boss before the final boss.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I'm liking. I'm liking that it feels like they're going to wrap it all up. Though I do think you've made comments that you'd like to see a strong redemption arc out of Lotor.
Yeah, I feel like he deserves it. Although I don't know if they can do it now.
Nah.
It really sucks.
At the best, he's probably gone mad.
Oh, that just sucks so much. Think of how cool that would have been.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Having him just be mad is just lame because it's just easy. It's way more interesting to have your villain become a hero.
Yeah.
Just as that's just how it's interesting to see your hero become a villain.
Yep.
So.
Yes.
If I think in season 8, my biggest complaint is going to be that Lotor didn't get a revenge arc. That's going to be my big onion.
That's the first thing you're going to say out of the season 8 rambles of the Voltron season 8 rambles. It's going to be Lotor didn't get a redemption arc.
And I'm salty as hell.
I guarantee that's going to happen unless that actually happens in the season, and then I'm going to be just surprised that it actually happened.
Yeah, and then I'm just going to be like, you know what?
I don't care.
worth. You know what? That's fine.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Although I don't know. Do I want like a botched one, or do I just not want them to try? I don't know. Well, I think that's. Excuse me. For me. Any other last comments on your end?
No, I think that's pretty much it for me.
Okay.
So yeah, those are our thoughts of Voltron season 7. Did you enjoy season 7? Do you have the same problems we did about season 7? Oh, you got something?
Did I ever even like say what I like? If I liked it?
No, you didn't.
I thought the season was pretty good, although jury's still out on how whether or not like I feel like that romantic stuff just kind of tanks the season's likability a lot for me. But we'll see what happens. Okay, sorry.
No, it's all good.
Go ahead.
All good. But yeah, if you got thoughts about the season, audience that is listening, leave them down in the comments below. Audience engagement and all of that. But before we go, Alyssa, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at TheRationalDove. You can also, if you want to hear more of my voice, you can also check out Nerdy Geek Talk, which is a podcast thing. It's on pretty much anywhere you can find a podcast. And I'm specifically on Anime Overdrive. And still pretty sure, hopefully by the end of this week, hopefully by the time this podcast is finished, there will be a new episode of it up. But don't quote me on that. But that's where else you can find me. So, yeah. That's all I have to promote. What about you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at SoundJack426. You can also check out my Patreon page to help support the channel. And I'm just going to make an extra shout out to Steel City Bots because, you know what? I don't think I promote Steel City Bots enough on this channel, despite the fact I'm on 3 podcasts on that channel. And I am basically Eric's second in command. No, I am his second in command. He stated it as such. At least for Steel City Bots.
You should pull your weight. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
You probably pull your weight plenty.
Oh yeah. I mean, whenever he's not there, I'm the one that runs the podcast, so keeps that all straightened out in line and whatnot, you know.
Yeah.
So I should promote that channel more.
Yes, you should.
But yeah, that's where you can find us, and you should like, share, subscribe, and comment if you enjoyed this video. And that's all we have to say. So until next time, this is SoundJack and Alyssa signing off.